Hello and welcome to the ultimate review of screenshot tools. And in here, we will review 8 screenshot tools really fast. And there is a detailed video for every one of them on the same channel. So it's going to be just a recap really fast. So, what the screenshots are for? I use them to create documentation. So it's not an occasional screenshot taking kind of scenario. It takes a lot of time and effort to take screenshots, and the faster we can do it, the better the tool is. I use it for everything from support requests to writing trainings and everything else. So this is how it was tested. And here are the tools. So Windows Snip and Sketch, for example, the setup itself, and we need to actually edit this slide, is very easy, but still it has very limited amount of information for us in it. So I'm going to give it 2. Taking screenshots is super easy. It's just a hotkey. So definitely it's super fast. I'm going to give it 7. Editing, there is no editing in it, so but at least it doesn't pretend to be. Well, at least it partially pretends to be. So I'm going to give it 3. Exporting is very limited, and in terms of convenience, it tricks you into using it, but it's not worth your time, and there is no extra features. I'm not going to show this tool because it's very new, and maybe it will change in the near future because it's replacing the Windows snipping tool, right? So let's go to Snapdraw. Snapdraw free. And this is a free version of the tool. The one that is more developed it's a very old tool, and as you see, everything here is based on dragging and dropping elements to your screenshot. When you capture objects or something, capture window, it's very weird from it, and it has all of those nice pop-ups for you, and then when you go back to it, it's a miserable tool. Okay, this is the Snapdraw, and we can give it a try once more like this, and that's about it. So Snapdraw is not very convenient, and it's super old, right? So we say enter, we right click, we go to the image composer or something, and every time it loads this, and then you can drag and drop stuff to it. The editing exists, but it's not convenient. If you, for example, if you want to change all of the styling of all of your arrows or anything like that, there is no normal way of doing it. You need to do it one by one, saving a lot of variations of this, and there is like a dedicated editor just for it, and it's just goes on and on. But this is an unsupported tool, and it has been not developed for quite a while. So definitely it's not a pass, right? So the setup itself is very minimalistic. While it has a lot of features, there is nothing for it in it for you. I'm gonna give it 3. Taking screenshots is super inconvenient. It's less convenient than just the Windows snipping tool. I'm going to give it 1. It's just unbearable when you want to do it multiple times. Editing is super old. It allows you to do a lot of interesting things, but I would not go above 5. Exporting is super inconvenient in this tool. When you export, you need to specify formats and when to do it, and it's just a separate process just for taking the screenshot out of the tool. In terms of convenience, also 1. There is nothing for you in there. Extra features, 1. Nothing for us. Okay, next one is Godwin. Godwin is going to be, there are 2 of them, but we're going to use Godwin print screen. It has this built-in thing, and we can actually go and try and take a screenshot. As you see, the screenshot taking is a little bit more advanced. It blurs out the background, something that is not taking, and it has this small thing on the right that allows you to zoom in, like zoom in window that allows you to home on specific pixels, and it writes the resolution. So the taking of screenshots is very convenient, and you can modify it, and then you can just press V or enter, and it captures it. And that's about it. Now, what you can do with it from here, not many things. You can export, zoom in, review it, but if you want to edit it, you need to do it in an external tool, right? And the preferences and everything is exposed, so you are aware about what the tool is doing for you right from the get-go. And when you go and need to edit the screenshots, you just do it in Paint or whatever tool you prefer. So for us, the setup is very straightforward. I would give it 7 because it doesn't trick you. Taking screenshots is very convenient. I would say this is how it should be how it should look like on every tool, at least from the get-go. And I'm going to give it 9 just because when it compared to some other tools, it's still missing a point. Editing doesn't exist, but it doesn't pretend to have it. And for this, I'm just giving it 5, although it's not editing, right? It's going to be 5 asterisk. Exporting, it saves the images immediately on your hard drive and puts them in your clipboard. So not many features there. I'm going to give it 5, like an average, because that's more, let's put it in 3. Convenience, it's actually very convenient in terms of just taking screenshots. I would give it immediately like 7 if you're an occasional screenshot taker, and there are no extra features, so it's going to get 1. Now, Windows snipping tool, this one is interesting. So when we go to Windows snipping tool, now what is the snipping tool? It's very inconvenient because when you close it, it's closed, but you can have a key that allows you to bring it like with a hotkey. And it has rectangular snip or something like that. You click on new, you capture what you want. As you see, it blurs out the background. It doesn't show the resolution or the ability to home on specific pixels. You can highlight freehand, right? If I press Control or anything, it doesn't make straight lines. Same goes for, you have a pen, red pen, black pen, and you can delete and copy, send, and save it. And that's it. So it tricks you into believing that you can edit something, but it's very unprofessional. This is why if you ever saw one of those screenshots that looks like this, it comes from the snipping tool. It's that's not the way to do it. It's not even fast enough to justify, right? So in terms of configuration, there is nothing for you to configure there, and it's useless. Taking screenshots, if you are not editing them, it's going to be convenient, but not more than that. I'm giving it 5 just because there are some of them that are worse than it. Editing, I wish they would specify that you just need to use Paint and that's it. It's just, it tricks you into editing things, and you users just annoy the hell out of everybody else on social media and everything there where they post screenshots. It's just super inconvenient. I'm going to give it 2 for trying, but not more than that. Exporting is clipboard and files to the hard drive, but you need to click the save button to do it. So I'm going to be 2. Convenience, I'm going to give it 2, not more than that, and it has 0 extra features. Now, GrainShot. We are going to a tool that starts to be worth our time. So GrainShot, it's a tool with a board. It's a tool that includes many features: capture region, capture last region, capture window, for example. And while it struggles sometimes to understand what the full window is, it's still able to do it. And it has a built-in editor and a workflow that you can choose what to do. So it would upload the images to various places. It allows you to edit on the fly, and it has many nice features for you to use from the get-go. And you can have text, for example, and everything that you really like to do with those tools. And then it goes to clipboard and saving, and it has effects and an ability to open it in another application. Like a whole workflow, and the configuration there is not minimalistic at all. It supports plugins. So if you are writing documentation and you just begin your journey, this is the tool to use. The setup here is superb. Okay, it's right on par with the big tools. It's more minimal tool, but at least it doesn't trick you, and it's very clear. Taking screenshots is super convenient. It's going to be 9. Editing is very good. I'm going to give it 8. Exporting screenshots, it has options for even uploading and everything. I'm going to give it 9. Convenience, it's super convenient. It's going to be 9 as well. I mean, this is the tool that you would use unless you have something better. There are a couple of them that are better. Extra features, like uploading to various locations and controlling some of the workflow, definitely worth. For example, if you go to destinations, you see all of those nice features, and you can have plugins and you have expert settings. So definitely a lot of nice things. I'm going to give it 5. Let's go to Snagit. So Snagit, probably you already seen Snagit in action because this is the go-to tool, right? And when you open Snagit, you'll notice that it's super big. It's like 324 megabytes, while it, yeah, that's okay. I don't care. Okay, so we're going to continue trial. It's not actually free, right? So when I click on continue, it opens this kind of thing, but you can set up with hotkeys without seeing it. So we're going to capture, and as you see, it has the zoom in that allows you to select perfectly what you want, and it specifies the resolution. And now you can say, well, I want to capture a video of it or a picture. That's in a mixed mode, so I'm going to capture an image. It opens it in an editor, very similar to GreenShot, but it has the built-in browser, and it has all of those nice features with a preview when you point your mouse at them, for example. And overall nice. There are favorites and text, and you can modify right on the go. It has pre-built uh, configurations for you to use, so you would not need to be very editing the settings too much. But on the other hand, when you go to settings and try to figure out what to do with everything, for example, editor preferences, when you go to advanced file associations, I don't see that you can even import the settings. Probably you can do it, right? So import, for example, what can I do? Import stamps, templates from Google Drive. And can you upload the images to specific places? Apply template, delete. I don't think you can upload it, at least not from the get-go, right? So here's the sharing. So it has all of the uploads. Very nice tool, but super heavy. Look how busy it is right now. If you need to take multiple screenshots, that thing gets you fatigued really fast. But still, this is an enterprise tool. It's supported, and if you want like a uniform experience with a lot of documentation and a big community, this is the go-to tool in case you just want to be very uniform in your approach. But I would go with GreenShots for most of your needs, and I would go with Snagit maybe if you need to do something with formatting. But I mean, I see the appeal in this tool. It's polished, it's ready, it lacks many of the disadvantages of all of the other tools that we've seen, and it's right up there, but it costs money, so it's not a free one, right? The setup there is also not very good. I mean, I would give it 7 because it has many options, but you don't control many of the aspects of the tool that you would like to control later when you become advanced. The screenshot taking is of course, very convenient, but not up at the top over there. Editing is convenient unless you need to change the templates and you need to change the styling and everything. Then it becomes a little bit inconvenient. It's still on 8. Exporting is 9. A lot of options there for you. Can be a very good tool for enterprise or teams that need to share the screenshots and everything. In terms of convenience, I'm going to give it 8 because the GUI is very, very, very bulky. It has all of those things added to it, and you need to use this more button to go to things that you use rarely, while you do have a lot of screen space to show all of those tools over here. And this thing on the right screen is deciding a lot of things for you, and you just need to edit them. It's very bulky, right? And it has the effects and properties separate. So when you need to edit like 100 screenshots a day, and believe me, that's not even a lot for some people, and that tool becomes not unbearable, but it becomes hard to control. So convenience, I'm going to give it 8 because it has all the extra features. And in terms of extra features, we're going to give it 8 as well. Now, ShareX, this is a tool that I'm using. I'm most familiar with it, but you'll see in a second why it's so convenient. All right, let's close those windows, and let's kill all those applications. We open too many of them. Right, exit Snapdraw, yes, exit please, and exit TextMeet Snagit, and we'll go to ShareX. And this tool has a lot to offer, right? So the screenshot taking has the option to edit the screenshot while you take it. This is why it would get 10. Remember, it's comparative. Okay, and you can pre-edit anything that you want. You can add stickers, and you can add whatever graphics and text styles you want. You can pixelate and blur right when you take it, so you don't need to remember for later what you want from it. There are built-in editing tools for example, editing every screenshot automatically post taking it. So, for example, adding a frame to it, or border, or a watercolor, or whatever. It's all included in this tool. And when you go and you take the screenshot, eventually you can actually go and preview them in an editor. There is history of all the screenshot taking and a lot of options for naming the files and putting them into right order and right convention, so you would not be confused. You can edit them in the same editor but with extra features. Post-production, so you can go and alter the images later, and with even more options. For example, you can rotate and edit them and apply templates and whatever you prefer, and then you can go to print, save as, and whatever you want. In terms of capturing, it captures full screen and windows, of course, specific monitors, last regions. It records screen and GIFs, and it can record audio if you choose to record screen without a video. Only audio, you can do it, for example, taking notes. It does OCR for you, and it does auto capture if you want to take screenshots automatically every few seconds. There is a delay built in. After capture tasks, you can print the images automatically. You can create and you can upload the image to a specific place, get the URL, shorten the URL, and put it in your clipboard all in one thing, right? You can upload text if you want to upload text instead of uploading images, right? You can OCR the image and now automatically upload text to specific places. Destinations, for example, image uploading, text uploading, file uploading, URL shortening, social media uploading. You can create your own. So, for example, if your organization has things to do, like a task flow or workflow that is not built into any tool, you can create one of your own, including like responses and validations and tests. It's like full query editor, right? You can do whatever you want. And it's very compact tool. Unfortunately, works only in Windows because it's based on .NET, but still a lot of things. In terms of configurability, you can just have effects and thumbnails and capture and codec control and for example, screen recording, you can control codecs and compression and types of audio, and it gives you all those settings that it sends to FFmpeg, so you can, for example, export and import them. You can share your configuration across screens. So all of this is possible using ShareX, and it's still developed and it gets updated, and it's kind of free unless you're an enterprise. I guess there is some kind of a licensing involved. I don't know. But definitely very good tool for those of us that just have it daily. So the setup is 10. Screenshot taking is 10 because it has built-in editor. Editing, I will give it also, let's say 10 because there's just built-in editor for everything that you want. Exporting, let's crank it up to 11. Convenience, it's not a tool for new people. You need to know all those buttons you clicked. It took a while for me to find them. So in terms of like a new user that tries to figure out how to use it, I'll just give it 6. That's what it has. And extra features, which let's crank it to 11. Okay, let's see the screen rec. I know that we're kind of going up in tiers here, but screen rec is not going to be one of those, unfortunately. Screen rec. Let's give it a try. So let's see, screen rec. We are going to see that it has a very minimal setup, but at least it has the setup. And it has an upload and everything, but it also has this thing on the right where you can take a screenshot and it shows you how many pixels you take, but not really zooming in on anything. And then you can have very minimalistic editing like bubbles, and I guess there are a couple other things with transparency. So a little bit of editing. I'm not really sure how to change the tool. I guess there was some way of doing it, but I cannot figure it out. Okay. can make rectangles and arrows and editing. So it has a little bit of potential for new users, but after it just ends. There is nothing for you to do. If you try to record a video, it limits you to a specific time because you need to pay for license. So yeah, the free version of this tool is not really good. So in terms of configuration, let's give it 3 for clarity. Taking screenshots, it's pretty convenient. With not a lot of features, so it's going to be a 6. Editing, I wish it would just not offer this editing. It does allow you a few things, but not really. Exporting, there is no exporting that you can talk about, just clipboard and file. So that's 3. Convenience, I would not say that it's convenient. It has the string on the right side where you need to have a bar on your screen at all times. The screenshot taking doesn't have this zoom in that it should be standard for any tool. So not more than 5, and then it has 0 extra features. So that's it. That's it. It concludes the screenshot tool battle. And as you see, if you're a new user and you want to have a very consistent, very pleasant experience, Screenshot is the way to go. Enterprise that wants to have a supported version and a community and some built-in convenience and other things, of course, Snagit is the way to go. For non-enterprise users or the enterprise users that really want to go a long way and they want to be very, very, very efficient, ShareX is the way to go. This learning curve is a little bit steep, but the amount of features just surpasses anything that we tested so far. You've seen it on your screen. It's just beyond what you can expect from any tool. And if you must keep to something really, really, really minimalistic and you don't want to use those 3, Godwin maybe is the way to go, although, maybe you shouldn't go that way. Okay, well, this concludes the comparison, and I'll see you in the next.